I just greet you in Jesus' precious name. It's just so good to be with you again. Folks, I want you to relax. I want you to take that cup of tea, that cup of coffee, and just watch this program. Turn off that cell phone, please. Close the door. Don't listen to anybody. I've got a message for you from God. I want to tell you, we're going to talk about Bethesda. It's the healing pools. It's the sanctuary of healing. And I believe God wants to heal you today, wherever you're sitting. You might be in hospital. You might be in jail. I don't know. You might be somewhere far away from home. You might be lonely. God has got a message for you. As you walk in to the old city, you go through the sheep gate, which is also called Stephen's gate. It's where Stephen was stoned, just outside that gate. Now that's where Jesus came up. He came up probably from Jericho, and he came through that gate. And immediately as you go through that gate, you enter the Via Dolorosa. The Via Dolorosa is where Jesus carried his cross on the day that he got crucified. If you ever get an opportunity to go to Israel, it's a wonderful experience. It makes this book come alive. As you go through the gate, the sheep gate, as they call it in the Bible, on the immediate right-hand side is the pools of Bethesda, the healing sanctuary. That's what I'm calling it. That's what I'm calling this message. And I want to say to you that nothing has changed. Jesus is still the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. Isn't that good news? So if he could heal a lame man on that day, he can heal you today. And at the end of this program, I'm going to pray a prayer of faith over you and your family, over your physical body, over your business, and we're going to believe God for a miracle. Okay? You know, a tremendous need is the requirement for a miracle. If it's not a tremendous need in your life, then you don't need a miracle. You just go to the doctor, or you go to the bank manager, or you do whatever you have to do. But when the bank manager can't help you anymore, the doctor can't help you anymore, no one else can help you, that's when you need a miracle. So let's just go straight to the Gospel of John, chapter 5, and I'm going to read from verse 1. Please bear with me. I'm reading out of the New King James Version, my favorite version. This is what it says. After this, there was a feast of the Jews, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Jerusalem's on top of a mountain, like a mountain range. So you go up to Jerusalem, you go down to the Dead Sea, you go down to Joppa, okay, but up to Jerusalem. So he went up to Jerusalem. Verse 2. Now there is in Jerusalem by the sheep gate a pool, which is called in Hebrew Bethesda, having 5 porches. There would have been 5 probably buildings or maybe coverings where the sick people lived in those porches, waiting for the water to stir. The water used to stir once a year. The angel of God would come down and stir this pool, and the first person to enter that pool would be miraculously healed. That's Bethesda, okay? So we continue, verse 3. In these porches lay a great multitude of sick people, blind, lame, paralyzed, waiting for the moving of the water. Verse 4. For an angel went down at a certain time into the pool and stirred up the water. Then whoever stepped in first, after the stirring of the water, was made well of whatever disease he had. Now, verse 5, a certain man who was there, who had an infirmity for 38 years, folks. You know, I looked at a commentary, it said in those days, that was almost a lifespan. Life was so short in those days. 38 years he'd been lying there. And when Jesus saw him lying there, and he knew that he already had been in that condition a long time, that's what I love about the Lord. The Lord, my dear friend, he knows everything about you. As you are watching this program, he is already prompting you to believe him for a miracle. It's not about me, it's about the prayer of faith that's going to heal the sick and save those who are lost. You know, if you look at Nathanael, Jesus went into that town of Cana, and he saw a man standing under the tree, and he said, your name is Nathanael, a man in whose mouth is found no guile. Okay, he was a man who never ever gossiped or spoke badly about people. Jesus knew all about Nathanael before Nathanael could even speak to him. The same as the woman by the well. Remember the Samaritan woman? Jesus told her whole life story. As a result, she went into the village and said, I've met a man who's told me everything about me. And the result was the whole village was converted. I want to tell you, at Shalom, we say, one genuine miracle equals 1,000 sermons. Are you ready, my dear friend, to receive your miracle from Jesus today? It's for free. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to pay for anything. All you have to do is to be obedient, like the paralyzed man you're going to read about just now, and you need to believe. That's all. Let's continue. When Jesus saw him lying there, and he knew that he already had been in that condition a long time, he said to him, do you want to be made well? Oh, my dear friend, do you want to be made well? Do you want your marriage to be sorted out? Do you want your business to become solvent again? Do you want to be healed of that infirmity? The Lord is asking you that question, just like he asked 2,000 years ago, the paralyzed man who'd been lying by the pool for 38 years. No one had helped him. Jesus went straight to him. Do you want to be made well? What is your answer today? I hope it is, yes, please. I do really want to be healed. Okay? The sick man answered him, Sir, I have no man to put me into the pool when the water is stirred up. But while I am coming, another steps down before me. See, he missed the point. And maybe you're missing the point. There are no conditions involved here, folks. That's why I love Jesus Christ so much. He didn't say about you have to get into the pool. He asked him a question. Do you want to be healed? Jesus wasn't even talking about the pool. You see, Jesus is the healer. And sometimes we look at the healer and we keep calling out for God to heal us, and he's standing in front of us. Folks, do you want to be healed today? Do you want your life to be changed today? Do you want to be delivered from that addiction to substance abuse? Do you want to be delivered today? You say, yes, Angus, but no buts. No, but Angus, I've had prayer before. No buts. Do you or don't you? That's the question. See that paralyzed man, he didn't understand what Jesus meant. He thought that Jesus was going to pick him up and take him down to the pool. He says, I would have been healed, but nobody ever takes me down. Jesus didn't speak about the pool. Jesus is the pool of healing. He is life. He is the creator of heaven and earth. So he asks you a question, do you want to be healed? The answer should be, yes, please, Lord. Just like that. Let's continue a little bit. Do you want to be made well? Verse 7. The sick man answered him and said, Sir, I have no man to put me into the pool when the water is stirred up. But while I am coming, another steps before me. People push in before me, Lord. I can't get into the pool. Missing the point. Verse 8. Listen to this, folks. It's beautiful. Jesus said to him, Rise, take up your bed and walk. Just like that. Verse 9, and immediately, the Bible says, immediately the man was made well. He took up his bed and he walked, and that day was the Sabbath. I want to stop there for a minute. That day was the Sabbath. Folks, on the Sabbath, according to the Orthodox Jews, you don't do anything. If you go to Jerusalem, there are certain hotels where you don't even have to press the button to take you to the next floor. Because on the Sabbath, you must do no work. You mustn't even press that button. The ladies make all the meals beforehand. No one does anything. They sit and rest on the Sabbath. There's nothing wrong with that, by the way. Nothing at all. In fact, if we did that more often, a lot of us wouldn't be so stressed out. But of course, these men took the law and put it above God even. Okay? Nothing must happen on the Sabbath. So here's the Son of God breaking the rules. He's just told this man on the Sabbath, rise up, okay? Take up your bedroll and walk. Why did he do that? Maybe he told him to pick up his bedroll so that he could put his faith into action and walk. And that's exactly what the man did. Straight away, the Jews round about I'm talking about the religious people, the Pharisees. They didn't marvel at the miracle that this man who's been paralyzed for 38 years is now walking. No. They didn't even see that. Why are you carrying your bed on the Sabbath day? You shouldn't be doing any work at all. You have broken the rules. I want to say to some of us here today, we don't have because we don't believe. Okay? We put the rules before God. God did not create the Sabbath for us to worship. I'll say that again. God did not create the Sabbath so that we could worship the Sabbath. We worship Jesus. The Sabbath was created by God to give us a rest after we'd been laboring. That's what it's for. It's for our benefit. It's not for us to worship as a God. Okay? And that's where we get it the wrong way around. See, so often we do that. So the Lord told him to rise up and walk. And immediately, verse 9, the man was made well, took up his bed and walked, and that day was the Sabbath. Verse 10, the Jews therefore said to him who was cured, to the paralyzed man, it is the Sabbath. It is not lawful for you to carry your bed. Isn't that ridiculous? Verse 11, and he answered them, he who made me well said to me, take up your bed and walk. Verse 12, and they asked him, who is this man who said to you, take up your bed and walk? Verse 13, but the one who was healed did not know who it was, for Jesus had withdrawn and a multitude being at that place. Jesus just melted into the crowd and he moved away. You know, the Lord is the most humble God. He is the most humble person that ever walked. He never touched any of his Father's glory. Healed the man and he moved away. Isn't that amazing? Some of us, something small happens and we make such a big deal about it, but in the meantime, it's our Father that did it anyway.